Okay, let's dive right into this explainer, because today we are exploring an absolutely mind-bending biological paradox. Why did massive, heavily armed Pleistocene beasts fear us way before we ever even invented weapons? Think about that for just a second. Long before the bow, long before the sharp-tipped spear, long before any piece of technology that would, rationally justify that kind of terror, the absolute giants of the animal kingdom recoiled from us.
So the crucial mystery we really need to solve here is this. How could the entire animal kingdom be so universally terrified of a creature that, historically speaking, had absolutely no technological right to be feared? It's a complete mystery, right? And it forces us to look completely sideways at the whole equation of human evolution.
Because, let's be honest, on paper, we are embarrassingly terrible predators. An adult lion can hit speeds of 80 kilometers per hour. A fit adult human in an absolute dead sprint, maybe 30 or 35 kilometers per hour tops. Our bite is totally irrelevant. Our claws are, well, basically just decorative fingernails. We have no protective fur, no armor, no scales, and zero venom. We're slow, we're loud, we smell entirely weird compared to the rest of nature, and our squishy bare skin makes us completely unimpressive fighters when you stack us up against nature's heavyweights.
Section 1. The Data of Fear, a 2019 revelation.
Now, to see how deep this terror actually runs and completely shift our understanding of predator dynamics in the process, we have to look at the hard science. Because this isn't just evolutionary guesswork, it's an observable, measurable phenomenon that scientists call human predation pressure. In 2019, researchers at the University of Western Ontario published a study. They compared how apex predators, we're talking lions, leopards, pumas, and bears, reacted to the sounds of humans just talking normally versus the sounds of other apex predators. And the results were, honestly, they were deeply unsettling. These animals demonstrated twice as much fear upon hearing human voices than they did hearing literally any other predator in their entire ecosystem. 2 times the fear, for a creature that, biologically speaking, should be a super easy meal.
This introduces a pretty terrifying concept called ecological fear. And you know the strangest part of that 2019 data? This fear wasn't something they learned from individual experience. Evolutionary biologists have actually noticed that elephants living in highly protected reserves, elephants that were raised in completely controlled environments and have literally never been hunted a day in their lives, still display intense stress responses just from catching a human scent. They'll even go so far as to completely alter their migration routes. The fear is collective, it's inherited, and it is deeply encoded across generations.
Section 2. The inescapable force. Persistence hunting.
So to understand what actually triggered this deeply ingrained ecological fear, we have to look back at an ancient strategy. It's one that's actually still documented in modern hunter-gatherer populations, like the San of the Kalahari, persistence hunting. Instead of fighting with claws or teeth, our ancient ancestors utilized this relentless, brutal rhythm. Walk, run, walk, run. I mean, it sounds incredibly basic, right? But it was absolutely devastating. Without a single trap or a single spear, early humans would simply follow an animal until it literally just dropped dead of exhaustion. This pursuit could last for hours, sometimes more than 8 hours straight. And our biology is exactly what made this possible. While large mammals quickly overheat during that kind of prolonged effort and physically have to stop to pant, our unique anatomy turns us into these unstoppable heat-dissipating terminators. We have millions of sweat glands spread across our entire body. The unique arch in our plantar region, our specialized heels, our elongated Achilles tendons, the whole shebang. The entire structure of the human foot is this masterpiece of biological engineering built for one specific purpose: running long distances without ever stopping.
Harvard anthropologist Daniel Lieberman perfectly captures our true biological superpower here. He notes that the human body is literally a long-distance hunting machine. We weren't made to attack, we were made to exhaust. We didn't win the evolutionary arms race by being the strongest, or the fastest, or the most heavily armored. We won by simply never, ever stopping.
Seriously, put yourself in the hooves of a gazelle for a second. A leopard chases you. You sprint at maximum speed. After maybe 300 meters, the leopard gives up because its body simply cannot sustain the effort. The danger is past. Whew, right? But then, a human appears. You run away, but an hour later, you look back, and they're still coming, in this steady, unhurried, constant rhythm. You run again. Hours pass. They are still there. So what does the animal brain learn from this? It learns that no amount of distance is safe. No speed is going to save you. And the only true escape is to just never be seen by a human in the first place.
Section 3. The psychological terror, the unpredictability factor.
But physical stamina alone doesn't entirely explain the disproportionate, almost irrational fear modern animals have of us. I mean, if it was just about running, animals would have simply adapted their sleep schedules or their migration patterns. To see the whole picture, we really need to uncover the psychological weapon ancient humans wielded. We basically brought utter chaos to the ecosystem. Think about it. A lion hunts in a very specific way. A crocodile has a highly limited, totally predictable repertoire. Over millions of years, prey animals learned to read these fixed patterns and they developed precise counter behaviors. But ancient humans? We didn't have a fixed pattern. We hunted in shifting group sizes, we showed up at totally random times, we made unnatural noises, we literally weaponized fire, and we modified the environment in ways no other creature ever had.
So, the crucial point is this. For an animal brain that evolved specifically to recognize patterns and predict threats, unpredictability is a profound evolutionary terror. Ethologists actually speculate that this sheer lack of predictability completely broke the defense mechanisms of the animal kingdom. We were a threat they literally could not calculate.
And fascinatingly, behavioral neuroscience shows this exact same ancient trigger, the psychological terror of the unpredictable, is the very same system that spikes your stress today. Why does an ambiguous tone from your boss or a text message left on read cause you so much anxiety? Well, because a threat you cannot anticipate is psychologically far more disturbing than a known predictable danger. The exact same weapon we use to break the animal kingdom is the one that still paralyzes us in modern social interactions. Crazy, right?
Section 4. Rewriting Animal DNA, the Evolutionary Scar.
Over hundreds of thousands of years, as we spread across the globe, we didn't just hunt animals. We inadvertently acted as this brutal filter of natural selection. Animals that lacked a healthy fear of humans, well, they got too close, entered into conflict with us, and ultimately produced fewer surviving offspring. We aggressively and continuously selected for lineages that were completely terrified of our presence. The arrival of humans in places like the Americas and Australia aligns absolutely perfectly with the progressive disappearance of local megafauna. We quite literally reorganized massive ecosystems just by existing within them.
The implication here is just staggering. Our terrifying history isn't just recorded in anthropology textbooks or ancient cave paintings. It is literally encoded directly into the nervous systems and the DNA of the planet's surviving wildlife. Every time an elephant alters its path to avoid human scent, or a puma retreats at the sound of a human voice, you are witnessing an evolutionary scar. We are the only predator that haunts other species from the inside.
To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final provocative thought. Looking at all this data, all this inherited ecological fear, are we just another product of random evolutionary pressure, functioning the same way nature always has? Or is humanity, with our relentless stamina and chaotic unpredictability, the ultimate nightmare for the rest of the animal kingdom? Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.